look in the eyes of my brother without shedding a tear for my brother.
Yo!
I really want to try for my brother.
You!
Broke that sound barrier again.
Stop trying to censor me, Zoom. What's going on? What up, everybody out there? Welcome to another episode of the InforMILLy Honest Podcast. We are four brothers, different mothers, different daddies, and different bloodlines all together, unless you believe in Adam and Eve and shit, in which that makes all of us cousins. And then we got to get to the whole conversation about where everyone on Earth is built through incest. And I don't know if anybody wants to have that conversation. But welcome back, episode 50 something. And we are we in this piece. If this is your first time joining us, we are four guys who just come together to converse amongst ourselves, to work on this thing called life, process, and probably have either very inconsequential or possibly very controversial conversation. Nothing's that controversial because we don't really argue like that. But based on the episode that just came out yesterday, a lot of angry voice notes I've gotten. Not angry, but slightly perturbed. And fellas, good to see you. Welcome back for another week of our informalities. And above all else, we pride ourselves on three principles whenever we converse, and that is being forthright, being vulnerable, and as the title of our podcast suggests, be honest.
For sure.
This is my TED Talk. And so fellas, y'all got anything that challenged any of those principles for you this week?
What y'all got, man?
I can't think off the top.
It's all good if it didn't, life happens like that sometimes.
Yeah, it does.
I had a moment with a old teacher of mine where he how can I say? I think he might be going through something I don't really know. All love to him though. And we were having a vulnerable moment to kind of say what's happening inside of the progression of how our relationship needs to evolve and how connected I can stay to his organization with how my work schedule shift and all of that kind of stuff. It was a business conversation that had vulnerable moments to it, and so I'm always grateful to have those with him because he's a pretty influential force in my life due to the profession I'm in, and so that was a vulnerable moment I had this week.
Oh, I dig that, man. I really like when I feel like those vulnerable moments like that can be involved in business meetings or business conversations. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It just makes it less, not robotic, but it just makes it a little more human, I guess, than just, okay, what are the numbers? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I like that. But I guess I had Adam, were you about to go? Okay. Maybe I just want somebody else to go. I was my vulnerable moment, which I've had many, came from when I was doing some doodling this week. I've been trying to stick with it. I've been trying to stick with just doodling, doing some sort of.
There you go, man. I need some extra emphasis on that L because it sounds like you said doing something while I'm doodling and
doodling. Got you. I was wondering where you were going with that. Like, what is he? I should have said whiteboard because no one poops on a whiteboard. If I would have just added that in,
anything is possible.
I feel like you'd have to like it would be like it would be such a projection of,
yes, it would be quite the projection if someone did
yeah. I mean, perhaps it'd even be impressive. I don't know. But I was just sketching this week, and I've been trying to stick with a daily routine of like coming home and kind of putting myself through some sort of training, if you will, like starting with like line work. So I'll do like a full page of just lines and intentionally try to, okay, I'm going to try to keep the same distance between each line in this square. Then I'm going, so I might do it horizontally, and then I might do it vertically and then diagonal, things like that to kind of warm up. So just to keep me in the flow, even when it doesn't necessarily, even when it's not necessarily driven by passion, Mm-hmm. So in the midst of just the doodling this week, in one particular moment, while I was doing it, I just had like a realization, but it came more as like a question, like, yo, how much, for some reason in my mind while I'm doing it, doodling, not doing it for Josh, for clarity for Josh. In my mind, the question was, yo, how much of like my past is the reason why I'm having issues with my art. Like that question just kind of popped up, and then it got me thinking, like remembering the trauma from my past and how from an early age I was dependent is not the word, but I cared a lot about, I guess, because you have I see this still now, anytime you have like from the beginning, you have the parent and the child. And then I would see that I would see similar experiences when I would have like the boss and the employee, or the teacher and the student. There was some part of me that would feel like a sense of like lack of self-worth. And I think, and that would shine in my art due to me being so critical of myself, but also taking what other people's opinions about it so seriously, like way too seriously. So in the midst of me drawing this week, for whatever reason, questions like that came up, and I came to the realization that, which is something that I've always known, I've always like felt it and known for a while, which is why I try to do whatever work I do. However, it never came to me with that language. I always felt it, but I never really put it in. It never came in that question form. Oh, this is not confusing. I feel like I'm going. This is like off the top, but I was
like, man, this got real deep.
This is off the top, but yo, just that realization came that, man, this is heavily linked to my past and like how I just viewed others, but in particular people in a quote unquote position of power, or like whatever the title might be, whether it's the parent and child, or the teacher and the student, or whatever. This definitely has a direct effect to how I experience, not every single time, but like, and generally the challenges I'll have in regards to art, and how I place certain people's opinions, or the opinions of others in general, way too high. And I was like, man, why is it so hard sometimes for me to just finish something? I'm capable of doing it, but it creates those challenges. And like, for some reason this week, it all hit me kind of at once, in the middle of me doing these like drawing trainings. So that's just for some reason that Josh is kind of reminding me of that,
Word. Thank you for sharing.
Take up all the goddamn time, man.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry for taking up all the time.
Oh man, I like that realization, man. I mean, not even a realization, just the fact that you got to that point,
Yeah, man. You never know when that's just gonna come, I guess,
Man, it is way too many points in this where You said something that was easily a shit pun, but
I appreciate some comic relief after that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's a point where you said do, and I thought
Yeah.
it
I don't know if you saw me. I was like, but well, fellas, today's subjects are brought to you by someone I don't know if they're real. I'm gonna be completely honest. I know we talked about it off air, but for our audience, this was written to us on Instagram, handle Holly N532, which already sounds like a bot. They have no followers. Huh?
Gotta decipher that, man.
Show yourself.
Code it,
five is the number of completion. Open your third and your fourth eye, my G.
Holly was representing.
you might get to that
Hollywood
dimension.
Yeah. Holly in the Bible means if you look at Hebrew, holly is
the type of tree that
Yeah, it is.
if you burn that.
So they have no followers, they have no posts, and they are following no one. But they wrote us, and they wrote very poignant questions. And by poignant, I mean like they're decent questions. I don't mean like they're asking us like the meaning of life and shit. But respect to you, and I'm gonna read it. And thank you for writing in. Yo, sir, that's how you know they listen to the podcast, because they started with yo. Sir, love the podcast you have going on. I was trying to write in, but couldn't find the email address. I find that hard to believe. I say the email address constantly.
Yeah.
And literally, the email address is the podcast at gmail.com. Like, it's like,
yeah. If you've only listened to half of one episode, you've heard the email address.
At least once.
Yeah.
InforMILLy podcast at gmail.com. And you wrote into, like, you couldn't misspell it. You wrote into the Instagram. I don't know how this happened. But she said
full breakdown.
They said so I'll just send my questions through here instead. Also, are there specific days where you all upload, or is it sporadically? And I just want to take this moment to say, yo, watch yourself. You ain't gonna be coming for Adam like that just because it's consistent.
Yes, it is.
It is consistent. It was Thursdays, now it's Fridays. You'll get over it. You'll be okay. You're gonna get the art when you get the art. Shout out to Adidas and Miro. So 3 questions, fellas. Let's start with: do you feel older or younger than your age? I'll start. If you don't mind, since I'm already talking, and I'll get mine out the way. I am 32. Do I feel older or younger? I feel like at this age, my age doesn't really matter anymore, because it's such a in-between age, 32. And so I'm like, yeah, in certain times I feel older shit, whatever the fuck that means. Every part of my body continues to hurt. But it hurts differently than how it hurt when I was 16. And so I have realizations like, I've been dancing for longer of my life than anything else. Like the number of years that I've danced is longer than like any other thing. And yeah, so I feel so in between about that, but more times than not, I feel older than, I guess, whatever 32 could feel like.
I would. Are you about to go?
No.
I was gonna say, for me, I definitely don't feel older than 32. But I don't know that I feel younger either. Like, as we, I'm sure we all in recent times have, or I don't know that to be true, but maybe in recent times we've bought an alcoholic beverage, whether it's at your local grocery store or at a restaurant or whatever. I'm sure we've all had to give our ID, whether that was because they were just following the rules, or maybe it's because we looked younger than 21. I don't know. But there's definitely been times when like I was buying some beer or something at Meyer or something, and the person was like, "Oh no, you definitely got to give me your ID." Like it was kind of like there was no way I was older than 21. I'm like, I feel, and it's always interesting when that happens. That happens to Kirsten all the time. Like it would definitely happen to her. She definitely gets carded way more than me. But but that's not even like a feel younger thing. That's like a look younger than my age. But I'm pretty sure we all look younger than our age to somebody. Maybe.
I feel like I finally look my age.
Okay. I think hair and facial hair automatically makes you look a little bit older. So that could be it. And I'm not the hairiest person, so I think even though I have facial hair, it's still very like juvenile. I feel like my mustache isn't thick or anything, you know. It's like it's kind of thin, you know, compared to most people's. But like I don't think I've shaved my mustache in like 10 years, honestly.
Oh wow.
Over 10 years actually. Because I feel like if I shave it, I'm gonna look weird. But at the same time, it doesn't grow thicker. So I was like, "Oh, this is just what
it might if you shaved it."
I know, but that time period of like it growing,
growing back.
I don't.
Is that true though?
Have you tried like just trimming the edges like that?
Yeah, I do that. I do that occasionally.
Is it true if you shave that it'll come back thicker? I hear so many back and forth points. Is that a fact?
I don't fully know, because I know I shaved my beard once and it never came back the same.
I always wondered
I think you got to keep shaving. I think it's like like I don't think it's like one time and then you know you're Robin Williams and Jumanji.
Yeah.
But
it says no. That's a myth.
That's
like, was a quick debunk. Mythbusters episode.
I had to find out too. So, hey.
Adam, I do feel you on like that look older, look younger than you are. It might have been a couple years ago at this point, you know, because that COVID year always has to get inserted. But I was over at Chicago High School for the Arts one time, and this teacher started yelling at me. Because she thought I was she was like, "Young man, ain't you supposed to be in class?" And I turned around and she was like, "Oh, I am so sorry." But then she started looking me up and down like she was attracted, and I was like, "Ma'am."
That opened a whole new way of looking at you.
Escalated quickly.
Yeah.
Now you a target.
The question is, Jar, did you take that one shot, that one opportunity to see everything you ever wanted in that moment?
I let it blow, and I didn't want it to let it blow. You know what I mean?
She was trying to seize that opportunity.
Yeah. Did she capture or just let it slip?
Marco, you about to jump in there?
Yeah, you know what? I didn't even make the point I was going to make, because I was focused on like looking younger and stuff, but feeling younger. I definitely I like I said, I don't feel older. I don't feel like I feel younger either. I feel my age. Yeah. That being said, though, I feel like I've never taken advantage of my youth like I should have, like in my years. Like, I want to eat better. I want to get back into working out, and so that's, and I feel like that's something you should do sooner than later, because you see a lot of people hit their 40s, 50s after they've been like told that, hey, you got type 2 diabetes, or you have
I don't know why I laughed at that, but yeah.
Some diseases are like super funny and others just aren't.
I didn't mean to laugh at that for some reason.
But not, yeah.
That was like a Family Guy.
It's like, okay, type 2 diabetes is the #1 killer in the U.S. And Josh just started laughing.
He had one of Peter Griffin like idea bubbles. The doctor walked in.
But no, that's something that's been on my mind. Like, I want to do better with that before it's like it becomes like a reactive thing. Like, oh, okay, now I gotta do, because we all know people like that was like, they waited too late to turn that part of their life around, and now they got to do it, just to stay alive. So I would like to make those good habits just so that way when age 45 come around, I'm not like going uphill. I'm like, I'm not fighting this uphill battle for the rest of my life.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like that answer was all over the place. But
no, you're good. And I can get that completely. I started getting into the gym more just because I was hating the way my body was starting to look. COVID. I'm not gonna blame COVID. Laziness that COVID incited was doing numbers on my body. And dance is vapid. And I was like, I know more often than not I'm gonna be naked on stage. And I just came, I saw myself on tape and I was like, nah, that's not the way my titty's supposed to look. And so I was like, we about to hit this jam real hard.
That's kind of how I feel. Like I have some like behind the scenes photography videos on YouTube that I started doing when I was in Korea. And when I looked back at the footage, I was like, oh, I didn't realize I looked like that. So, I felt the same way.
Word. Aaron, Marco.
Well, yeah, I'll go. I pretty much agree with everything y'all said, and especially what Adam said about the, when you get older, you don't want to fight that battle of you fall behind and you think you still young enough to bounce back easily. And so I've been thinking about that too lately. But to answer the question, I think we pretty much all 32. I'm about to be 33.
Right.
And
couple weeks.
Yep. And I've pretty much, like, as far as the look, like, I feel like I can pass as younger. And I've heard people, mostly when I'm well trimmed and groomed and all that type of stuff, people, think I'm younger. But as far as how I feel, I think probably just recently I feel like my age matches like how I feel. And I've been usually thinking that I feel younger, but as we know, there's a lot of maintenance to having this human body. And I wouldn't say I've been on top of it. I've been eating better than I have when I was like in my 20s probably. So but yeah, it's been a general consensus that younger, but I would say recently, it's all feeling like like it should be. Like it is all up to us because we can get that youthful feeling back and all that, but
true,
it takes work.
Yeah.
And one thing that does like kind of keep me young is kids, and it's mentally, physically, all of that. It's just sometimes you relearn things through their perspective and stuff like that. So that's my 2 cents.
That's good.
Hey, Doug.
Well, I feel like in general, in regards to looks, I've always gotten that I look younger.
Taco meat on your chest says otherwise.
Word. We got it right. I forgot the permit. My bad. This is true. We go ahead and slouch a little bit. Sink lower in my seat.
For the listeners, Aaron is progressively getting more and more nude on this podcast. And
only thing left is the socks.
Yeah. But does it drive engagement? That's the question to be seen. We're all 32, but I I don't know that there are a couple exceptions. There are a couple reasons why I would say, I feel 32 or I feel my age, because I've definitely seen a difference in like, and this could be also like we talked about what I'm eating, how active I am as well. But I definitely recognize myself getting tired earlier. Like I mean, we've all been able to, like, when you were 12 years old, I felt like I could stay up 3 days straight. Like I was on a cocaine bender with, you know what I'm saying? Just off sheer energy, son, just off sheer youthfulness, I guess. And that's definitely changed. And my diet is what, like, I can tell that I need to, like, when I'm, let's say, playing football or what, let's say I'm playing a exhibition game.
Exhibition.
You run the scrimmage.
Yeah, you know.
Maybe sound official.
I can just like feel my joints different, you know, like struggling a little bit more, and I can like, I recognize my need to like pay attention to my breath more, for sure. But outside of that, like, I don't feel that's people's typical idea of feeling old, I guess, is like their body. But I still feel like I feel pretty energetic and alive. And like, it's interesting too, because I mentioned drawing.
So alive.
On POD.
I mentioned drawing earlier, and like it reminded me that when I'm really involved and focused on something, I could have drawn all night, and like I'm not tired. So it also depends on like my focus and how involved I am. I don't feel as tired or anything. I just feel like I have to do it all night. So
I mean, mental stimulus and physical exhaustion are two different things.
I don't know if it's mental. I don't know if it's just mental. It's definitely something.
When that adrenaline kick in, man,
right,
you feel all kind of youthful ages.
Yeah, that's why I guess I could have just answered the question. I'm trying to answer as best I can without saying I don't give a shit about my age. You know, which is the truth. It's the truth.
That's a good answer too.
Right? Yeah,
I really don't.
That's a great answer.
Like, often folks will be like, "Oh, how was the 30s?" or saying, "How was it being 20?" It doesn't fucking matter to me. It doesn't matter. Last year, the year, 10 years, it didn't matter. You know? I hate when I'm trying to give a fair, interesting answer.
I hate when like your birthday comes around and someone asks you, how does it feel to be the next age?
Yeah, like,
and you're like, I've been here for a couple hours.
Like
gradual change.
As it, like, if the person knows how it feels to turn another, like, you already know that it feels no different. You know that because you're alive too. Yeah. So why are you asking?
Like, yeah, I'll never be somebody who's like, man, in my 40s, yo, now that it's 60, I just like, man, things are really like, I don't fucking.
It is the thing you would typically say, like, in post, like at 45, I can say how 40s have been. Yeah. But the day I turn 40, you can't be like, oh man, how does it feel to be 40? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. I just got
like, like you just telling a story, and it's like, so now that I'm in my 50s, I just don't care anymore. Like, I don't think that not giving a shit doesn't have a correlation to my age.
Yeah. No, I mean,
there are moments in my 20s where I didn't give a shit.
That's what I'm saying. It could have, that was when you made that decision. But like, if you know your track record is you've been ain't shit since 17 and now you 46, and somebody is like, oh man, you know, how long have you not been shit? And you're like, well, I've not been shit my whole life.
Yo, there's that idea that as people get older, they just stop caring about what others think, and like shit like that. They just stop caring about things like that but you can stop caring way before then, you know. I don't know if it has something. It doesn't have to be your age. So
I don't think it's a number, like a age number thing, more than this, just an experience thing, which obviously just comes with aging. So
that's for me. I care more about like the experience. Like,
I will say,
in 32 the same as I was 22.
Yeah.
So
two things I will say to it: that in real life, I don't remember 22. Most of my 20s, I can't recall a lot of the details. I don't know why.
Yeah, I was just thinking that like the other day, like the 20s is long gone, and then I was like trying to think of a particular moment.
Right.
I mean, a lot of times I don't associate the age with the moment.
Me either.
I just have
It's
that
just that
moment.
time.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because I have like I have a pretty active job too. So I'm very active in my job, and like some moments I can feel what somebody might say is, "Oh, you're in your 30s now," based on like how your body's going in that moment or whatever, you know? Yeah. And then plenty of others where I feel like I'm 10, you know? So it doesn't, you know.
The thing that always kind of like threw me off though, when people say like, man, you're in your 30s now. So, but it's like, though, yeah, you might be less whatever than in your 20s, but we all see those people that are 30, 40, 50 that be running like half marathons and marathons. And even, I mean, these are professional. I'm not saying those are professional athletes. My next point would be like, but then you also see athletes that are like, I mean, there's football players that are like in their late 30s that are still playing. And I'm not comparing us to professional athletes, but I'm just saying it is possible. Your body, if you
30s is really not. I mean, a lot of people consider that prime still.
It just depends on your conditioning, and your upkeep, and your maintenance, and all of that kind of stuff.
Definitely,
you know, if you eating ham hocks and gristle every day, and you know, sitting around only moving, you know, to get to and from the refrigerator and to turn on the PlayStation, which you ain't even got to move to do that. Maybe the controller's on the other couch. Like it's just a thing of like, what are you doing in order to keep your body active and all of that kind of stuff. But I will say, while I'm sure it wasn't like, a marker, the day I turned 30, I threw my back out and my patella popped out of place.
Dang.
It's
that birthday 6.
My patella popped out on stage. Like I rolled back on my knee and my whole like kneecap shifted over to the right, and I had to like click it back in and finish the other 2/3 of the show.
Dang. That's that championship can't come out the
mentality right there. Yeah.
That's that Jordan mentality.
I still had a show the next day too. That's the more fucked up part about it. It wasn't even like that was.
Yeah, you finish this and then you can rest. Yeah.
I can rest.
Yeah.
But nah.
Show must go on. So that's like the epitome of the show must go on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like actually.
And break a leg also.
Fun fact. Break a leg is for actors. Dancers actually don't say break a leg for good luck. They say merde, which is shit in French.
It is. I was wondering why. Why do they say shit?
Yeah, like that's.
I'm asking you.
Thing. Why? I don't know.
Yeah,
I got the power to look it up, man.
why do dancers say merde instead of?
I wonder if that's a verb or a noun when they're using it. Are they telling you to shit, or are they saying shit? Just like
that's brilliant observation. I don't really know. And in real, just to be contrarian the way I am, instead of saying married when we have shows, I just say shit to people. Like shit to you all.
They get it.
Yeah, they get it. Like they know the purpose. Oh, like they at first they get confused, and then somebody goes, "He means like married," and I'm like, and they go, "Oh, okay."
It says this French married doesn't mean just shit. It is also a strong, heartfelt good luck wish you give someone. It dates back to the 19th century when rich people came to the theater in the opera house in horse-drawn carriages. So I guess it's related to that horse some way.
Because horses be shit.
Yeah.
I got
That's a funny expression, by the way. Horse shit.
Yeah, I love that.
Do y'all have like a
weddings horse
something
shit.
on you?
That's exactly what I thought.
What you said? Something.
I almost blurted it out myself.
I said this wedding's horse shit is from what was that? What movie was that?
Oh, what you talking about?
It was
Was it Wedding
Step
Crashers?
Brothers?
Or Step
It was
Step Brothers?
Step Brothers, I think.
Yeah, it was Step Brothers.
Oh yeah. But do y'all have like a reoccurring injury that y'all deal with?
Yeah.
Like kind of a spin-off of that question.
That's a
I-
good question, actually.
Yeah. I
think
got lower back issues from an injury when I was 16. That's like affected my hips.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the back is for taller people, you know, is
It's a
one
common
of those things.
Bro, I'm always trying to remind myself to lift correctly. Like lift things correctly. And I feel like I spent so much of my life lifting things incorrectly. Man, like that. Yeah, the back is fucking vital. But you guys know mine, man. Like it's my ankles. It's always been my ankles, man. You know.
For me, it's been my left knee. When I was in high school, I got hit in my knee playing football in practice, of all places, and it's never been the same since. Now, like when I got hit, like it didn't like take me out for the week or weeks to come or anything, but it's always been like just like it just flares up. Like there was a point in time when I was really into running, and like I had to wear a knee brace because it would just hurt. And I went to the doctor and they looked at it and like no one could find anything, but it's just, you know, and it's not like super painful, although, you know, it would keep me from running when it would flare up, but it's just, you know, I haven't felt it since, like not in like a real agonizing way, but like occasionally it will be like a little sore, or if I move my lower part of my leg in a certain way, I can feel it. But that would probably be one. And I know this happens a lot on Sundays. It's probably like my laziest day of the week where I'm just kind of laying in bed watching TV a lot. Typically, the next day, my back will hurt from that, from just laying. So I don't know if maybe it's the mattress, but that knee thing, that would be my answer though. That.
How do you lay, or is it just the fact of laying? Like, do you lay in a particular?
Probably like you know, like when you're kind of like you're on your side and you kind of like resting your head on your. Kind of like that, which I know isn't good.
Only because it's twisting your lumbar in a way that like it's not meant to stay that way. And it's got your full body weight, and depending on your mattress and the support it gives and all that.
Yeah,
I guess
how do y'all
all
sleep?
those things.
How do y'all sleep? Which position?
I usually sleep on my side. If my hips are going through a thing or my back's going through a thing, then I might sleep on my back. I never sleep on my stomach.
Oh yeah, I used to sleep on my stomach, and that shit, it used to fuck up my back and my neck for sure. I only sleep on my back now. At least I try. I go to sleep on my back. I wake up all kind of halfway off the bed sometimes, but I sleep on my back. That's like it's been working wonders for like my neck and shit and my back.
All right, Khalees.
Yeah.
I think I sleep kind of like on all three, my back, side, and stomach. But I think mostly my stomach. It's
I say the wrong.
Yeah, it's not
Khalees.
Khalees. I think her name was Kaya or
Kaya. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Khalees's milkshake.
Yeah, I knew the song you were referring to. So,
yeah, but this saves me some time. I don't have to go back.
Right.
So I'm cool with this too.
Because you're not going to do that. Boom, boom. It was not Khalees. It was.
In all honesty, like, and that's not necessary. There's plenty of podcasts that we've all listened to where they messed up something, and no one cares. Just keep it going. But for me, I'm such a actually type of person. Is like I got to do it.
I do it when I hear them. I don't like that they do that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, because like I'll be listening to something and they'll be talking about this thing for like 4 minutes, and they're talking about the wrong detail of the thing,
right?
And I'm like just like screaming at not screaming, but I'm like, no, that's not right. It's this, and like they just keep talking about the wrong thing, and it's so frustrating. It's like, that's not right.
Man, my most recent. Actually, Marcus, did you go?
Oh no. It's basically the same as Adam though, but except it's my right knee. Like it actually mostly is on like hardwood or concrete. when I start do stop and go movements or jump, try to jump real high, my right knee just always ends up doing that tense thing, and it's like it is a pain that will make you. It wouldn't make me stop like playing at the time, but when I get home, it's like I
Flares
can.
up.
It flares up, and I don't know if it's like when athletes say they had to get their knee drained and stuff like that. I don't know if it's one of those situations, but yeah.
The sound of it, because you'd know if you had fluid on your knee. From the sound of it, it could be a thing of
like the tendon or something.
Not even. It just may be a stretching thing. There's a part of your hip that goes into the whole side of your leg, and that muscle on the side of your leg is called your IT band. And if that IT band gets tight, then it can like corrode all the stuff around your knee to create all that tension around there. But massaging your IT band doesn't really do anything. You got to massage this part of your hip that relieves that part, relieves your IT band. That'll relieve. It's like everything being connected in a like longer way.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah.
When you talk about stretching, that's one thing that I never took seriously. So that could be a result of that.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel like, I definitely never took stretching seriously. Like, still should take it more seriously, but more so in regards to like yoga and that type of stretching. I never really knew very much until then. Never really even experienced on my own like enough until I had gotten into yoga. I've been exposed to that particular type of yoga and like how much emotion and different things are, how much emotion and stuff your body holds and like creates energy blockages and all of that shit. Like it's super important, man. I still don't stretch enough as I'm saying this, but I know how important it is, which is
I feel like nobody ever stretched and felt worse. Like stretching is amazing experience sometimes.
Yeah, man. I think every person, regardless of what you do with your life, needs to own a foam roller and a lacrosse ball.
You said a foam roller and a what?
Lacrosse ball.
Oh, okay.
Just to be able to.
Those look.
It's about the size of
like a baseball, right?
Yeah, about the size of a baseball. I want to say it may be slightly smaller, and it's really dense, but it has like a soft give to it, and it's great for massaging stuff out.
Right.
But let's hop into another question as we hit that low.
Hard not to recognize that one.
Let's go for this one. Has there since we're on this topic of like age and all of that, what we were, has there been anyone in the younger generations that you've connected with that may have changed your outlook on yourself, your profession, or life in general?
I'll go.
Go for it.
So for me, I'm not gonna say I connected with this person, or even I've never even met this person. Actually, it's somebody I follow on YouTube. There's this dude named Alex Steele. He's a blacksmith, and from the UK, and I think he's like, how old is he? Maybe like 22, 23.
Is Alex Steele his real name, or is it like his?
I think so. I know it's like funny that a blacksmith name is Steele, but I think it is actually.
It's destiny.
Yeah. No, it's not spelled. It's not spelled like the spelling isn't the same. So it's E on the end. So
gotcha.
But anyway, so this dude is like just a great craftsman. I mean, it's like, and then when you see how young he is, he's only 22, 23 years old, but he's been doing it since he was like 6 or 7. So, that's a lot of years of experience,
right?
Regardless of how old he is. But the reason why I say him is because it's just inspiring to see someone so young yet so what's the word, motivated by their art and their craft or whatever. So it just, even though I'm not a blacksmith or anything, just watch him makes me want to create in the things that I do. So that's why I would say him. So That's the short answer.
I'd say because I'm a teacher and because I'm always working with younger folks, I stay inspired by them, especially when you see them like either you see how they evolve like in their growth and maturation, and when you see like the stuff that they do or make or work, then you're like I don't know that it changes my perspective, but it definitely inspires me. um yeah, it always inspires me when you just see the ways that they're trying to grow. One of my students came in, worked with my org during the summer, and she's like fully grown, and I've had her since she was like in the 6th, 7th grade, and now she's fully grown and she's a college student and all of that kind of stuff, and I hadn't seen her in a couple years, and so to see how like she's this whole ass person that I have to treat like I have to treat like an adult now, when I'm just used to treating her like a little girl. And so when I see pictures of her,
Yo, get your ass out of the corner right.
And the thing is, I still
down right now.
I do still talk to her like that because she knows it's out of love and whatnot. But now, you know, when they were kids and shit like that, whenever they do like some reckless shit and all of that, like I tell all of them, if I consider you like my kid, we got like a family motto, which is don't be a dumbass. To try to tell them like, hey, you're gonna be faced with a lot of decisions. I need you to think about the consequences of these decisions before you do it. So above all else, don't be a dumbass. And and then when I see her now, when I see pictures of her like at concerts on some dude's shoulders, yelling and throwing a drink in the air, I gotta go like, well, I gotta respect that shit now because you're a fucking adult. Because if you did that shit when you were 16, I would smack you upside your head. But like to see her now like really pursuing a dance career and thinking about her training and all of that kind of stuff, I'm like, it's just always fascinating to me just to see people grow up. But change my outlook. Not on some I think I'm better than them and shit like that. I was always at the feet of my elders, and I regardless of whether or not I thought I knew better about something. And so now that I'm to some degree an elder, I'd be like, sit your little dumb ass down.
Elder Ishmael.
So I don't know that. I'm sure that my perspective has been changed in some ways or whatnot. When I look at TikToks, I'm always like, y'all are some brilliant motherfuckers. I don't know how the fuck y'all do this. I've reached that age now where some technology is just, I'm not putting the energy into that.
Yeah,
Like,
like
I can't really think of nothing. But I think Adam got something brewing.
no, I mean, I was gonna say because like I know my answer wasn't really it didn't fully answer it, you know, but I just want to just really emphasize that answer, even though I didn't really answer the question.
I'm not finished. I got more.
I just like, you know, like I know the question was like, have you met anyone younger than you that's what was it that not inspired
that changed your I like that changed your outlook on yourself, your profession, or your life in general.
So the person that mentioned doesn't do any of that, but I still think the inspiration that I get from it is valuable to me.
Absolutely.
So I just want to emphasize that.
I feel like I'm open. I'm open to all of those things happening, like my outlook changing or being inspired or like looking at myself different.
Absolutely.
I'm like all the time. So I'm open to it. But when I'm interacting with anybody who's younger than me, you know, but like, I guess definitely inspired. It's like specifically since we're talking about folks younger than us, it's my answer similar to Adam's in regards to anyone who's been said to achieved a level of mastery, because it just takes because of the journey, it just takes a lot out of someone to achieve what they've achieved. Like if you're considered, I guess, for lack of a better word, to be a master at something, and that could be anything to me. I'm assuming it forced you to, if it brought something else out of you to achieve that, because we're all hitting challenges and hurdles and shit, and for you to overcome those hurdles, I know it had to have taken something out of you. So anyone who's achieved a level of mastery, I'm inspired by. And that could be something like artistic, that could be spiritually, whatever, I'm definitely inspired by that. And I think at the same time, witnessing that, or like hearing somebody discuss their journey to being a master or whatever, to being really good, that could make me look at myself differently, or that could change my outlook on something that maybe I thought was set in stone. And then I was like, oh, that perspective, I got you. Like that hit me. That hit different. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely open always for that. I guess a lot of it really just is a matter of like, am I receptive in the moment, or am I not receptive? Like how involved am I,
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with that, but I can't really think of one person. I'm trying to think of somebody I actually know instead of like
given that answer that I
being ambiguous.
I remember like, I'm not a rapper or anything, but I remember when yeah, I just don't want to say somebody that don't really have nothing to do with me, but I remember the feeling I got when I listened to Joey Badass when he came out, and with him being so young, like I felt that when you that young and talented, is almost like it was already built in you or something. Like somehow you just gotta stick at that thing that you're good at, or so that's inspiring for me, even though I'm not pursuing that. Well, I just remember the feeling that I got when I heard that. And honestly, man, people who inspire me now are because I believe things are changing in a way that older artists or creators are being valued more now than they probably used to be. And I like that. And it just reminds me to stay active, no matter what age you are. So like I'm not answering the question, but is along the lines of the age discussion. And that's kind of something that inspires me right now.
Yo, I got an anecdote. I got a actual experience that's similar to that I just thought of when Marcus was speaking. Adam, I'm pretty sure you met that younger group of skaters who we used to skate with sometimes in Miller growing up. Like I think this was like high school, college. They used to skate around like Marquette Park and like Flamingos in that area. There was a small group of them who'd be skating sometime, and like whenever they'd see us, they always want to come over and try to learn the trick or what have you, or just like talk about it. I don't know if you remember that, but a couple times you and I skated with them.
I mean, if I did, it maybe was once, but I can't say I remember.
Okay.
These fellows.
So maybe it was just me skating with little kids, and I'm trying to like drag you in. So I remember one time in particular. I cannot remember the kid's name. I remember they were from like Pennsylvania or something, and he was just staying for the summer or whatever. And they saw me skating one time, so they came and introduced themselves. And then whenever I would see him out, we'd always like be skating together. And one of these dudes, he's like 14 or something. He was a beast. That's why I thought you remembered him. That motherfucker was way better than us at 13 or 14. But
You know what?
Most important, he's really good.
It's starting to ring a bell now, honestly.
Yeah, and I remember a particular moment where it did change. So like I said, my perspective can be changed like in a particular moment because it serves as more like a reminder that, oh shit, that was set in stone like that. I don't have to have those limits. But I saw him and how good he was, and I was inspired, and I thought to myself, like, this dude was only 13 or 14 and he's at this level, so I know what it takes to get to where I am at 20 or whatever. I know how much practice I had to do at 20, and for him to be well above that at 13 or 14, I know what it must have taken. And like, he was willing to just keep going, and that shit changed. It was more of a reminder, but I guess you could say it changed my outlook in that moment of like less limiting beliefs, or like, yo, just keep going at it. Like it is actually possible. And he was way younger than me. So that was super inspiring. In that moment, it definitely changed my outlook. Like some shit that I thought I had set in stone that I just needed a little reminder, you know? Yeah. Yeah, that was a dope moment, man.
The funny thing is, just to add on to what Mark said real quick, when you brought up Joey Badass, me and Kirsten was actually, I had a conversation with her about that same thing. And I was like, sometimes I think about that initial mixtape, 1999.
Mhm.
And I think to myself, like, I can't believe this dude was 17, because you listen to it, it sounds so polished. It's, it's like, it sounds so like developed. And it's like, and I feel like, how does someone so young, like, where do you pull? Because you got to pull from something, to create art like that, So it's like, in 17 years, like, what life did you live to pull
That's-
from?
That's what I was thinking. Like, it made me think about like reincarnation. Like, I don't know why. I just like instantly thought about that. Like, this dude must be like one of the people who started hip hop or something. Where did he get this from, man?
For me, like,
man, that's
when
true.
did you start? Like, I guess that's the question. Like, when did he start? Because like, if he started when he was 10, I guess, okay, well, that's 7 years of experience, But even then, at 10, how, you're still learning the English language, like, so I'm like,
he
dude,
had it down, the command, like the
That's,
polish.
why in that moment with that kid, I was like, yo, it definitely changed my outlook, but was more as like a reminder of, there's clearly something that I have forgotten along the way in moments of self-defeat, or like defeating beliefs that I just didn't need to have, like there's definitely things that I have forgotten that could have pushed me further, for sure. So it's reminders like that. I think people who do things like in those moments of excelling, they're wonderful reminders for everybody else. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll always just appreciate the hunger of youthfulness like that. Not that I feel like you lose that hunger when you get older, but you build your habits, you learn what has worked well for you, and any adjustments that you made to that are probably going to be like incremental, but not necessarily like you're not aiming for the fences all the time anymore, because you kind of lose your immortality complex around 25.
Yeah, that's so true. Like that, I think that you see all these young people and doing whatever art it is, whether it's music, paint, whatever the medium is, and life hasn't quite hit them yet. They don't realize that. And I'm not saying they can make a living from that, because obviously you do, Josh, but I'm saying like that's not going to happen for most people. And they haven't, their dreams haven't been struck down yet. Like they're still like creating just because they love it. And that's really cool to see. Like, what's her name? Eilish,
Billie Eilish.
Like, she's a kind of example of that, where it's like her and her brother, they were making music when they were super young, and it worked for them. But it don't work for everybody like that. People don't make it when they're 15 years old, generally.
Or the pathway to get there just isn't going to be as quick or simple.
Yeah.
Because I've met people who they didn't start they didn't really get into that craft until they were older, or they did it when they were younger, then they got deterred and they came back to it. What was it like? Viola Davis didn't get her first major role till she was in her 40s.
Oh wow, I know that.
And so, like, the first major film that I remember her in was Doubt with Meryl Streep, and I'm sure that wasn't her first film, but she was only in the thank you for the wrap it up. But that's the first major movie that I could think of. She was only in the movie for like 8 minutes, and she's the most memorable part of that movie. And so I think it can happen differently for different people. But I agree with you that the pathway to get there is just not the same, or I think it's harder. And I definitely think in this age of content creation, over pure artistic, not say pure, but like for lack of better terms, brick and mortar artistic expression. Content creation kind of opens those doors up in a lot of ways. And it's so similar in the same way that, like, it's hard for Black artists to get the same resources and etc. Whatever medium, Black content creators get suppressed on whatever platform. Like that thing happens regardless of the medium, but I think it just opens it up a lot more as far as like how you can kind of get into whatever field. Mm-hmm. If you're going that content creator route, or if you're going towards something more trade, it's just different.
Yeah, I think making it is different for everybody too. Some folks don't necessarily want to, making it for one person might be, I got to be the biggest celebrity or the biggest entertainer in the world. And making it for somebody else is like, yo, I enjoy just doing, like, making enough. Hobby. Like, yeah, I enjoy doing this enough. And if it gives me, if it pays my bills, that's good.
Like this podcast, except for paying my bills part. But no, like I saw a TikTok earlier this week about a dude saying his dream was to pursue a music career and he wanted to be an artist and all that kind of stuff. But then he realized the lack and how much money he was going to make in scoring commercials and TV and all of that stuff. And so he went that route instead of pursuing an individual artist career. And now he's very well off. So he still got to pursue music, but he found another route in order to become success, quote unquote, successful in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And not feeling like that was a means of settling, because not everybody is going to be,
Dr. J.
That is very true.
Right. Well, fellas, this is a fun one. Thank you for another conversation, another great week. Appreciate you, fellas. Always. This is always therapeutic for me to be able to convene and converse, release the week. If you here. the whole pack, because we wolves in this month. I like to prefer. I like to think that we're actually a murder, but no. If you want to send in your questions, because we appreciate Holly in 532. I'm gonna write them back to say, hey, I don't know if you're real, but we did feature your questions on an episode, so thank you for writing in.
Which Star Wars planet are they from?
But you can always write us on Instagram at InforMILLy Honest. That's InforMILLy Honest on Instagram, InforMILLy Honest Podcast on Facebook, and InforMILLy_HP on Twitter. And of course, there's always
an email. Make sure you give them.
InforMILLy Honest Podcast at gmail.com, because for whatever reason, Holly in 532 didn't know what the email was. So InforMILLy Honest Podcast at gmail.com. So by all means, you can write us. Let us know your questions. Let us know your concerns, comments, complaints, testimonies. If you want to let us know anything, the good, the bad, the ugly, you want to tell us that we the shit or ain't shit, you can write us on any of these platforms and let us know your feelings so we can get this engagement up. Fellas, last thoughts.
There's only one Steele Dre. Just remember, there's only one Steele Dre.
I just want to tell Kevin Durant to stop using the burner account and come out the woodwork and support us, man.
That's hilarious, man. Yeah, be safe.
You know what, man? Like and subscribe. God damn it. I don't say that enough. And I hear other podcasts, people say that almost every time at the beginning and or the end. So like and subscribe also. Please.
Smash that like button.
Yeah, please.
Like, share, subscribe. Write a review on Apple Podcasts. It helps Apple Podcasts suggest us to other people.
Yes.
By all means, all you lovely people who like to DM me and say, hey man, I enjoy watching your clips on Instagram. I'm gonna tell you, thank you. You can also like that. So we get the views and likes up on those, comment on it, and listen to an entire episode. Or just listen to 10 minutes so we get to listen.
Please.
Like you get to the first 10 minutes and they'll go, oh, okay, you listen to this episode. You ain't got to listen to the whole episode. Or listen to the whole episode. I want to encourage all these things. But yo, we love y'all. We appreciate you. Stay beautiful, stay black if you are, and stay black if you're not.
Rate you $.
Every connection, every conversation, and every friendship, kindred, loved one. I'm a one day make this a consistent thing when I do a sign out. But for every person that you connect with, we always encourage you to be forthright, be vulnerable, and be honest. Peace.
Honest. Peace out.
Honest.
Peace, y'all.
Without shedding a tear for my brother, I really want to try for my brother, 'cause I truly do feel for my brother.